peace be to you. Billion of Muslims are ignorant of the fact that the word Allah, an Hebrew word coded H427 in the Hebrew Strong Lexicon, which was inspired by Yahweh God about 2,000 years before the advent of Islam. So Allah is known 2,000 years before Islam. But the Muslims have nothing to boast about it. Yahweh God Almighty inspired the scribe of Prophet Joshua, also known as Yehoshua in Hebrew or Jesus in English, to write these three words together in one and only verse in the entire book of the Holy Bible. Right in Joshua chapter 24 verse 26, you can see three Hebrew words, namely Elohim, Allah and Yahweh, in this order. Since Yahweh had inspired the word Allah to mean an oak tree, will he reuse the word for his name or title? Muslims have argued that the meaning of the same word has different meaning in different language. While the argument is valid to a certain extent, but what did Yahweh speak to Prophet Moses about his name in the Torah? You see, the former law of Yahweh the Almighty will determine the legal use of his name and titles. All the 99 names of Allah were not spoken by Allah in the first person to Muhammad directly. This is an irrefutable fact, which can be ascertained in the Quran. There are only 3 verses in the Quran which say to Prophet Moses directly, not to Muhammad, about the name of Allah, I'm Allah, in Quran Taha chapter 20 verse 14, Quran An-Naml chapter 27 verse 9, and Quran Ar-Rum the Romans, chapter 28 verse 30. Now, let's examine the aforesaid 3 Quranic verses, and determine for yourself as to whom the word Allah was given to. The only incident of Allah spoke to Prophet Moses personally is the burning bush incident, which was plagiarized from the Torah of Moses. Quran chapter 20 verse 11 reads, "But when he came to the fire, a voice was heard, O Moses." Then verse 14 reads, "Verily, I'm Allah, there is no God but I, so serve thou me only, and establish regular prayer for celebrating my praise." Unquote. Quran chapter 27 verse 9 reads, "O Moses, verily, I'm Allah, the exalted in might, the wise." Let's turn backward to read verse 8 in order to determine the context. "But when Moses came to the fire, a voice was heard, Blessed are those in the fire and those around, and glory to Allah, the Lord of the worlds." Unquote. This is the same incident of Prophet Moses encountered Yahweh in the burning bush incident recorded in the Holy Torah of Moses. Quran chapter 28 verse 30 reads, "But when he came to the fire, a voice was heard from the right bank of the valley, from a tree in hallowed ground, O Moses, verily I'm Allah, the Lord of the worlds." Unquote. Do you hear the name of Moses was called, and followed by the words I'm Allah? Now, the precedent law of Yahweh the Almighty given to Prophet Moses was final and irrevocable in term of his name. In Exodus chapter 20 verse 1 to 3, "And Elohim spake all these words, saying, I am Yahweh thy Elohim, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other Elohim before me." Unquote. Yahweh spoke in explicit words, I am Yahweh your Elohim. 2 words Yahweh and Elohim are used at the same time. But in the aforesaid 3 verses in the Quran, we can see only the word Allah in this manner, I'm Allah, without his title Elohim, which means mighty one. Exodus chapter 23 verse 13, Yahweh said, "And in all things that I have said unto you be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other Elohim, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth." Unquote. Yahweh had spoken to Prophet Moses about his only name Yahweh in Exodus chapter 20 verse 1 to 3, and 3 chapter later, Yahweh reminded him of the prohibition of uttering the name of other Elohim. In Deuteronomy chapter 18 verse 20, Yahweh said, "But the prophet, which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other Elohim, even that prophet shall die." Unquote. There are 2 conditions in the aforesaid verse, that is, firstly, prophet should not speak presumptuously in the name of Yahweh, and secondly, the prophet, who speak in the name of other Elohim apart from Yahweh, that same prophet shall be put to death. Apparently, Allah in the Quran did not know the Torah of Yahweh, who had spoken to Prophet Moses. The narrator of the Quran simply changed the name of Yahweh to Allah, which is forbidden in the Torah. Hence, Allah of the Quran is a false god, and Islam is an Arabian cult for the Arabians only. I hope all Muslims should read the Torah of Moses beforehand. The logic of Yahweh Almighty shall prevail over the falsehood in the Quran. Shalom.